Snowflakes danced beneath the golden glow of the city's Christmas lights, painting the streets in a quiet kind of magic. Inside a warm little café, every table was taken, except one. By the window sat a woman in a red coat, her eyes fixed on the door as though she were waiting for a miracle. She was Emily Lawson, CEO of one of the biggest real estate firms in New York, a woman who could buy anything she wanted, except love. And tonight, on Christmas Eve, she was waiting for a man she had never met. Emily had agreed to this blind date only because her best friend insisted she needed something real for once. No more business partners, no more charity gala suitors, just an ordinary man. But as minutes turned into an hour, disappointment began to weigh heavily on her heart. She looked at her reflection in the glass. Perfect hair, flawless makeup, the picture of success. Yet behind her confident eyes was a loneliness she could no longer hide. She sighed and reached for her purse, ready to leave, when the door burst open. A man stumbled in, covered in snow and shivering, his old coat dripping onto the floor. "Emily?" he asked, breathing hard. His voice trembled with both cold and nerves. She blinked, surprised. He wasn't what she expected, not the sharp-dressed, confident man she imagined. He looked exhausted, his shoes scuffed, his hair messy. Yet there was kindness in his eyes, a warmth that seemed to reach right through the winter chill. "I'm so sorry I'm late," he said, catching his breath. "My babysitter cancelled last minute, and my son, he was crying, didn't want me to go." His voice cracked slightly, embarrassed. "I couldn't just leave him like that." Something inside Emily softened. She motioned for him to sit. "It's okay," she said gently. "I'm glad you came." His name was Daniel. He was a single dad who worked 2 jobs to make ends meet, morning shifts at a construction site and nights delivering packages. His wife had died 3 years ago in a car accident, leaving him alone with a 5-year-old boy who still asked every night when Mummy was coming home. He wasn't looking for love, not really, just someone who might understand what it meant to keep going when life broke you down. As they talked, Emily found herself laughing in ways she hadn't in years. Daniel's stories weren't glamorous, but they were real. He spoke about burnt pancakes, Christmas trees that leaned to one side, and the little paper ornaments his son made. Emily shared stories of boardrooms and loneliness, of how success often came with silence. 2 people from different worlds found comfort in each other's honesty. The cafe staff began to clean up, but neither of them moved. Outside, snow kept falling, wrapping the city in white silence. Emily finally asked, "Why did you come tonight, Daniel? You must have had 100 reasons to stay home." He looked down, fingers tracing the rim of his coffee cup. "Because I promised myself I'd try again," he said softly. "My son told me yesterday, 'Daddy, maybe Santa will bring you someone to smile with again.' I guess I didn't want to let him down." That simple confession touched something deep in her. Emily felt tears rise, unexpected and pure. In that moment, the woman who had everything realized she had been missing the simplest kind of love, the kind that wasn't measured by status or money, but by truth and heart. When they finally left the cafe, Daniel offered her his arm. The streets were quiet, only the sound of snow crunching beneath their feet. At the corner, he hesitated. "I don't know if I'll ever fit into your world," he admitted. "I can't give you much." Emily smiled, her breath forming little clouds in the cold air. "You've already given me more than most ever did, your honesty." Days passed, and that night became the start of something unexpected. Emily began visiting Daniel's neighborhood, bringing small gifts for his son and laughter for his kitchen. Daniel, in return, showed her a side of life she had never known, simple dinners, bedtime stories, and love without pretense. But it wasn't easy. Her company board questioned her choices, her friends whispered about the poor man she was seeing, and Daniel's insecurities grew heavier. There were moments he almost walked away, feeling she deserved someone with more to offer. Yet every time he tried, she pulled him back with words that never failed to heal. "You and your son are worth every storm," she told him. On the next Christmas Eve, 1 year later, Emily stood once again in the same cafe, but this time she wasn't waiting. Daniel arrived early, holding his little boy's hand. They sat together, a small family built from broken pieces and second chances. As the snow fell outside, Emily looked around the cozy cafe and whispered, "I used to think Christmas miracles were for fairy tales." Daniel smiled, his son tugging at his sleeve to show her the paper star he'd made. "Sometimes," he said, "miracles just take the long way to find you." And under the warm glow of the lights, surrounded by laughter and love, Emily finally realized that waiting, especially for the right person, was never time wasted. It was just love finding its perfect moment to arrive. Moral: sometimes the best gifts come wrapped not in fancy paper or diamonds, but in kindness, patience, and a heart that never gives up on love.